on paper, Delhi certainly seem favourites.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to go away from Delhi at the moment. They finished the first part of the season really well, and they started off quite well. The squad is very, very balanced. I think without Steve Smith, it's a slightly better lineup. It's hard to pick any holes in what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, and Rajasthan, of course, pulled off a miraculous win against Punjab to get their campaign, so to speak, up and running. I know it's just in the midst of IPL already, but those 2 points won't do them any harm. What do you have to talk about Rajasthan in this one? Because do they look at Delhi and just fancy their chances, or do they go more aggressive or cautious? What's the approach that they will look at in this match?
I mean, they have to win every game, I suppose, over the next, little while, don't they? So they're probably going to have to go pretty hard here. That game against Punjab was, it was messy, wasn't it? I mean, Punjab were everywhere. Rajasthan were everywhere. Anyone could have won that game at any particular point. So we don't know exactly if they've been able to fix the problems they've had. We've seen with some other teams like Kolkata, they've been able to make some small tweaks to come back better. I don't think there's anything within Rajasthan's first win that makes us feel particularly that way. Although, obviously, the form of Evan Lewis was, quite interesting, and he's been playing really well in the CPL. But I think they're just going to have to throw everything they have at this particular game. They have to win 2 out of their first 3 to give themselves a realistic chance at, snagging 4th position. So in this particular game, they've probably got less hope. But if that probably means that they can attack it even harder, really. And if they lose, then have a good crack at the next game.
Just imagine if Rajasthan Royals with this squad turn out to be the eventual winners of IPL 2021. It'll just be the best win. I think it'll be a Leicester in terms of the football equivalent over there. Let's talk to you about Delhi Capitals right now, because I was having a couple of arguments with a friend who also supports RCB like me, and we were thinking if JSW, that franchise, the way they manage Bengaluru FC, if they brought that to RCB, they would simply sit where Delhi is sitting right now. Is that so much so to do with the management of Delhi Capitals, how they've kind of changed things about the professionalism and more than just the sheer talent that they have in the field, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I think, if you have a look at it, what they have is, I've probably said this in one of our videos before, but they arguably have the best test bowling attack in the world, right? They have just a phenomenal option when it comes to bowling, which means that most teams are set up to be very good on seam bowling pitches, spin bowling pitches, fast pitches, slow pitches, whatever they need, because generally with their home pitches, Delhi are set up to kind of be able to work on any particular surface. And that's a huge advantage for a T20 team. It doesn't happen that often. That wouldn't have happened by accident. That's something that was planned. Again, the way that their top order and their middle order has come together as well. I don't think these are accidents. I think that, so far there was clearly a lot went on behind the scenes here, and they've been trying to get it right. I remember a couple of years ago thinking what they were trying to do is like have a really good young Indian core. And then on top of that, they've been able to really develop some older players, and someone like Shikhar Dhawan and those sorts of players who've come in and have been really, really good, and then found some really good overseas players. I mean, Amrit Nokia wasn't particularly that famous. I mean, he came over to India, didn't he, and struggled in a test match. He did okay in South Africa in some test matches, but they took some punts on some players like him, and kind of everything has come off. And you would have to say that is more about good planning rather than luck.
Okay, let's see how it really unfolds, because the last time these two teams met, it was Rajasthan who actually pulled off a 3-wicket win in that game and the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. Now we'll get to Jarrod's predictions with Critalytics in just a bit, but I want to throw out the goodie bag question first to the fans watching this. And today we're asking a simple one. Who's going to take the most catches in this match? There are quite a few fantastic fielders lurking around the boundary, so you guys can have your shots in the comments below. Jarrod, just from the top of your head, most catches in this match, keepers included, by the way.
Okay, keepers included. I'll go with. Now which keeper do I want? No, that's going to throw me up. I will go with. I can't even work. I'll go with Samson.
I was going to say Samson, because Because sometimes just the pace bowling that Delhi has, I mean, it just invariably flies to fly slip and second slip. It might not be a got behind at such a times, but I could be proven wrong. Let's see. Let's see how Jarrod does in the predictions then, because at the end of the day, he nearly came away with a win the last time around, but he's kind of always had the edge over the robot. We'll give him that. Batsman-wise, let's see who he's going for, because Criclytics, Jarrod, has gone for, wait for it, Evan Lewis, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably based on a recent form. Obviously, as I said before, he's been brilliant in the CPL. He's come in and made runs in the first game. I think that's a solid bet. I'm going to go with Shikhar Dhawan just because he's such a ridiculously consistent run scorer over the last 2 or 3 years. But I don't think either of those are, you're either picking the informed player or a very consistent player there. I think they're both decent enough shots.
Yeah, so 2 southpaws, Evan Lewis and Shikhar Dhawan. Now, I'm really trying to figure out how Criclytics has based this one, because they've gone for, like I said, Evan Lewis, but they've also gone for a Rajasthan bowler, but they've gone for a Delhi win. So we'll come to that shortly. The Rajasthan bowler that they've gone for is a man who's not played for the franchise yet, is Tabraiz Shamsi.
Okay, that's interesting.
Very interesting.
I'm trying to think of Delhi's lineup. Is there an abundance of left-handers in that particular lineup? Is that where Criclytics has come up with that? I mean,
Hetmyer, Pant, Dhawan.
Yeah, there's a couple. Hetmyer. Maybe it's a left-handed thing. The bigger trick is whether they pick him. It's not so much that I don't think he can do the job. It's whether they actually bring him in. I don't. If he played,
and also really maybe Stoinis might be injured, right? So they might bring in Smith.
It's possible. With Stoinis injured, I don't know. I have to look at their depth chart. I don't think they have another overseas all-rounder in their squad, do they? So they might have to jiggle the whole lineup around, which might mean that Shamsi comes in. I mean, it's possible. It seems like a bit of a reach for me. I'm gonna play a little bit safer and just say Rabada.
Oh, okay, fine. That's lovely.
I thought he bowled well in the last game. He struggled over the last couple of years of taking wickets early on, but he hasn't really struggled at taking wickets overall. So, I think for me, he's my bet.
Yeah, and he's completely bald right now. It's Rabada that we saw before. We had a little bit of hair. But
aerodynamic.
Aerodynamic indeed. And like I said, Criclytics has gone for Delhi with the win despite having the top batsmen, top bowlers for their choices. Are you going to agree with the machine in this one?
Yeah, I think it would be hard to go against Delhi.
Now that's what you said again with the Mumbai match, and then Mumbai got beaten.
No. I think you have to. Yeah, that one's a little bit more tricky because Mumbai was slightly above Kolkata in the standings, and we don't sort of know how the two teams have come back completely, if that makes sense. I think with Delhi, we know that they were the strongest team before the break. They certainly look strong at the moment. And Rajasthan in their one game still did not look particularly strong. They won the game, which is great, but I don't think they look good enough to be able to beat Delhi. The only thing that you'd be interested in is the fact that they beat Delhi last time. I think that's a very thing to think about. But yeah, I think you'd be silly to go against Delhi in this unless you have some sort of inside knowledge that Tabraiz Shamsi is going to play and take an 8 for.
I mean, that would just be some field day for the South African indeed. Finally, before we let you go, it's a quiz question indeed, and it comes from the previous encounter that these two faced off with each other in the Wankhede. Now, I want to know how much Rishabh Pant scored in that game, Jarrod.
Oh.
I know it's a question which completely throws you off, I should say.
Is that the game where he knocked around about maybe 35 or 37? I've got some weird memory of him flicking sixes or something. Is that game?
Close. It's a game where Rian Parag ran him out. So he got to 50. I can give you that as a clue.
Oh, okay. So he got more than that. Okay. No. I thought it was a game where I thought he might have played a really good cameo that I was thinking. Okay. Did he get 67 then?
No, he got 51.
Okay. Either way, for whatever reason,
I'm sorry. It's just the producer who gives me these ridiculous questions, and I'm like, I'm sure he won't get this. No one would get this unless they Google it. But Jarrod, we appreciate your time. We appreciate the banter. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, hardcore Delhi fans will remember it. It's people like you and I who follow every game, and we have to go back through our memories and go, okay, this game and this happened. It's just like that's not how it works. But yeah, I'm sure hardcore Delhi fans are screaming at the thing, going, "How can you not remember that 51? We love that 51. That was our favorite 51."
Yeah, I mean, seriously, because if you ask us about test match scores, maybe we can have a better shout there. But T20 cricket, where just have so many games to cover, it kind of gets ridiculous at a point in time. But what's not ridiculous is you guys subscribing to the cricket.com YouTube channel. Thank you so much. And of course, give Jarrod some love. We'll drop the link of his channel in our description as well, so you guys can check it out. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch Jarrod post-match. And we have Jarrod twice on Super Sunday. So stay tuned for all the fun this weekend.